Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's show. It's me. I am Katia Kersey today, dressed as a lumberjack, and I'm joined by the incredible, the stylish, the suave, the debonair, the goofy Mike Hames. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, hello, Kirsty Elizabeth. Yes, great to be here. Just on our own today, which is nice, isn't it? On a subject which I am so looking forward to talking about, because I know that this is, along with working hard and taking risks, is one of the three key success factors in a new business, massively so. So if we can add some value to people watching today, that really means a lot to me. Going to be great.
Okay. So sort of we normally faff about for a couple of minutes, but I think we've people will log in as we log in. So today we're going to be talking about working on your business, which apparently is where the big bucks are. So we hear this from you quite a lot, Mike, working on your business versus working in it. So just for clarification purposes, what is the difference between working in your business and working on your business?
Well, if you saw the LinkedIn invitation that we ran to promote this show, you'll know that I like to say, and you know that I like to say it a lot, Kirsty, if you're up to asking alligators, it's difficult to remember that you were there to drain the swamp. And that is the big difference. Working in your business is fighting off the alligators that you've got cracking off, really. That can be anything, really, you know, doing the job, answering phone calls, doing your emails, paying people, chasing money. It's all about that day-to-day stuff that you just get in the morning and crack on with it and then go home at night think, woof, what a big day. Whereas working on your business is a swamp. It's the big picture. So it's where the long-term gains are made. So short-term, you've got to turn a coin and turn things around and do things for people. Of course you have. But longer term, it's about the amount of time that you work on your business dictates what your future is going to be, almost certainly.
Okay, all right. So what you were saying then, working in your business is the sort of day-to-day, you know, fulfilling roles, getting the things that you get paid for, and also chasing people, chasing debt, chasing payers, that kind of malarkey, dealing with suppliers. Yeah. So that's working in your business. Give me an example, give me some more detail on working on your business, which is what we are aiming to do. We are aiming to work on our business, yes. So what would that
I'll give you several exampple. Oh, by the way, if you just want to say hello in the comments, just put hello, hi. That would be great just to see you there.
We've actually already got one. We're got an international.
Oh, okay. That is from the Philippines. Yeah. Hello there, Paul. Yeah.
So we're international right now.
Yeah, we're international. We are, yeah. Flair International. Okay, so watching this is actually working on your business, because this is about this isn't going to help here and now at all, really, but it might shape your thinking to the future, and that's one of them. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me get rid of that and bring that up. Oh, you wanted that, didn't you?
This one, yeah.
Or even better,
that one. Oh, come on, Mike.
You know, I used to be somebody, but
you used to be someone in IT.
It's all slipping away now, isn't it, Kirst? Are you ready to, when I'm old and feeble, push me aside and take over?
When?
Yeah, it's a matter of time, isn't it? Okay, so working on your business, kind of three key activities, really. And there are lots of things you can do. I could put a big list on, but what's the point, really? Let's do less and perhaps get more from it. So, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, actually, this whole vision thing, really. But setting the vision, understanding where you want to be, your destination, is very much working on your business, for sure. As is then building a strategy. So if you think of a vision as a destination, strategy is a direction, really. And then the planning is the stage-by-stage progression along that route. Right, it's those three things.
The common thing that we use to explain that is, if you're walking through the forest, you need to climb the tallest tree to figure out where you are, where you want to be, and sort of plan a route. That's what we use as an analogy for that.
If you had a job to get through a forest, working in your business is when you're hacking your way through the undergrowth and sharpening your machetes and helping people to rotate and get people at the front, and then I can move them to the back. And that, it's very much in the business. Working on the business is, in fact, climbing up that highest tree and think, right, okay, we need to be over there. Like, that's where we need to go. Oh, there's a ravine there, so we'll veer around that or whatever. So it's very much working on the business, and those three, vision, strategy, and planning, very much working on the business. Self-development is crucial. Someone said to me in an interview I did yesterday, every day is a school day.
Mm-hmm.
Cliche, but as we know, Kirsty,
cliche is just an overused truth.
So it is, yeah. But it is very, very true. And I think there are lots of ways that you can learn now, aren't there? You don't like this now. Hopefully we're teaching people something. And so there are lots of things that you can do to learn and improve, really. Change the way in which you think, change your skill base, particularly around leadership. I mean, it's not just about being better at whatever artisan thing that you do, being a better recruiter or a better lawyer or whatever, or a better accountant. It's actually about you developing and increasing your range of skills, knowledge, and experience. And people don't do enough of it. It's one of those things they'll do next week or the week after. I think you should do it every day, personally. Learn something new every day.
And I think as well, if you're trying to grow a scalable business, and we talk about this quite regularly, so you have to do the mental change from I'm a recruiter who has a business to I'm a business owner who sometimes does recruitment, or I'm a lawyer who sometimes does lawyering. You understand my point? So at this point, you have to grow into areas that previously you've never needed, right? If you're just doing your day job, you may have dabbled with leadership, or you may have dabbled with certain things like that. But when you become a business owner, when you're trying to grow your business and become scalable, those skills are the primary skills that you need. And almost all of this, the reason that you're a business owner is sort of becomes less of an importance. So self-development at that point is key.
The first time when I work with new companies, so startups and mature startups, the first thing I say to them is you are now no longer a recruiter usually. You are now a business person that does recruitment. And it doesn't sound like there's a big difference between those two, but there so is in terms of the way in which you think and the things that you do. And one of those differences, recruiters don't do this that you can see on that screen in front of you. They don't need to. Someone else does that. Well, strangely enough, the leader of their company does it.
Odd that.
Yeah, I know. But when you run your own business, it's sometimes there's a belief, if I'm just brilliant at what I do, that's enough. Well, it is actually. You'll do okay, but that's all you'll do forever. You'll continue to do that thing over and over again. If you want to move to a different place where you earn more and work less and get better job satisfaction, which is what it's all about, really, then you need to do this. It's, as I said at the outset, alongside making your business profitable, making it work well, and you do that through hard work, taking risks. This is another key factor for success, is working on your business. And so many people don't, So many people, I'll tell you this, right, strangely enough, would have meant to have watched this today and didn't, because the day-to-day took over.
So that's it. You have to make an active choice, and it's going to be slightly uncomfortable. Same as anything when you're trying to form a new habit, right? Is when you try and change something, it is uncomfortable. It is difficult. Normally something will slip that you have to do, or you feel like you have to do. So there is that period of discomfort when you're sort of creating this world, right?
Can I ask people to put in the comments on that? Not the discomfort side, but that's an important point. But what do you do to self-learn? What do you do to self-learn? I'd really like to know if you've got time to put that into the comments. Okay, and the last of those three is running change programs. Now that sounds very grand, I know.
It does, yeah.
I'm only a one-man band. How am I going to run a change program? A program just means a series of things that you're going to do in sequence.
A plan.
A plan, a project, whatever. Program means you just link a bunch of these things together. That's all it means. And there are several change programs that you can run. I'm going to show you three, which are really important for small and medium-sized firms who want to get bigger, right? And here they are. The first one is to develop a system to win your new clients. So you're not reliant on you. You're not reliant on other people in the business, because they can become saturated, or they can leave, or just go off the boil a bit, really. It happens. And so then your new clients dry up. Develop a system. And that takes several projects. There are sub-projects underneath those. And I'm very happy if anybody wants to kind of expand on this a little bit, maybe we can get a round table on it or something. Very happy to talk people through what those projects are. In fact, all of the projects for these, if people let me know. But there is a series of things that you can do, series of steps. In fact, for that one, 7 steps that you would go through in order to create a system which generates new clients. And you can see how that is a program. You don't do it all at once, at a time. Over the period of time that you want, do it in 3 months if you like. If you struggle, do it in a year. Yeah, you could do that. 18 months, dead cert. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The second one is a similar system around client care, really. That's what it is. And again, there are sub-projects in that which go to make that up. And gradually you just work through the sub-projects until the program is complete. But what that will do is, we call it cuckoo client care. Why do we call it that, Kirst?
Because cuckoos live in clocks.
I knew you didn't know what that was.
You did that on purpose. That was not nice. I'll get vengeance for that.
Well, we used to call it extreme client care, but it's a bit kind of poncy, really. So we've renamed it now. It's funny, wasn't it?
I'm glad you found that funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
No, all it means is it's like a cuckoo. When the cuckoo lays its egg, the egg hatches, and then we'll come to comments in a minute, by the way, guys. I know you put some in. The egg hatches, and then what the cuckoo chick does is get rid of all the other baby chicks, so it gets all the food. That's how you should see client care. Get rid of, push as many suppliers, the other suppliers, as to one side as you can by being fabulous at what you do.
Of course, everybody is.
And some other stuff as well that goes with it that people don't do. And just get the stuff first, be the first choice. And that is a system to do that.
Yeah.
And if you install that system, you lose less clients and you maximize the returns from more clients. And as a side benefit, you tend to maintain your margins better too. So that's pretty cool.
I think what's key with those systems is that the premises behind both of them is, especially if you're only a single business owner, just you, is that the premises is that it's going to be able to be run by people who aren't as experienced as you, aren't as good as you. The premises is that you can put anybody in that and it would run. So you might be doing all of those things now as you, an individual, but creating a system means that if you hired 15 people, they would be able to run the same system.
It is, yeah. A system. The system is made up of 3 things predominantly. There are other things around it, but I'll keep it simple. It's made up of some processes, but they're not as important as you might think. Weirdly, in smaller businesses, weirdly as it may sound, tools very important, because the tools de-skill and speed up anything it's applied to. So the tools are really, really important. And I don't mean software tools, by the way, just so as you know. I mean, yeah, if you can use them, that's great. But I don't mean that, because everybody can buy those tools. It's not much of an edge, really. But I mean other kinds of tools that you can use which de-skill and speed up. And then the third thing is metrics. So you know what the heck is going on, really. So shall we go to comments, Kirsten, just before?
Yeah, we will. We've got some really, really good ones, actually. So Gavin speaking to us from Belgium. We're very international today. Yeah, and the way that he learned audiobooks, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, YouTube, those kind of many of them are free. Which is, I think, is,
before we move on from that, Gavin, your favorite audiobook? Because I'm an audiobook nut. So I'm just well into that. By the way, if anybody out there would like to read but don't have the time, check out an app called Blinkist. Put that out, Kirst, as a banner. Blinkist, right? Because
I never remember how to spell it.
Oh, all right then. It's not going well for you today, is it? Really?
I think it's.
Blinkist.
Yeah, I thought it. Yeah.
It's an app. I think you can get a free version, but I pay for mine. It's £1 a week, and they summarize books so you can read them in 20 minutes. It's awesome. I've got 3 books on my to read list, which I have here. Which you can't see. There it is. I will have read all of them by the end of the week. It's brilliant. Huge fan.
That's a fantastic one. Nikki, again, talking to experts. I enjoy that. I think that one's a really good one to do, because talking to people who are either further ahead in the journey than you, or you know a lot, I think is always a fantastic thing, especially if you're a sole person.
That's my favorite. I've been doing some interviews recently for the Recruitment Pioneers site, and I've been interviewing leaders in recruitment who've been successful, basically. Man, I've learned so much from that. Honestly, you just think, this is awesome. Why didn't I do this ages ago? So 100% on that one, Nikki. Definitely.
Paul, again, a lot of self-learning, reading, researching, experimenting. I think that one's a good one. Experimenting is a good one. Being able to give yourself the opportunity to fail, I think, is something that as a business leader, you sort of are harder on yourself as a business leader than you are as an employee. If you fail as an employee, I'm learning, but as a leader, I should be perfect all the time, which is just not accurate at all. So I think that's a really good point.
I think embracing failure, which is part of learning, experimentation, you don't succeed every time. None of it works. But embracing failure and celebrating it and learning from it and pressing on to the next thing is really a key element of self-development, which is what we talked about earlier. Yeah. Definitely. Thanks for that, Paul.
Kelly, again, podcasts. Talking to your clients, I find that an interesting one. Yeah. That one's the one that we haven't had mentioned before, because a lot of people, I think, forget how much of a rich source your clients are for things other than money. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that you use them, but they are still people as well. And I think that's a really valid point.
Very, very much so. Kelly, could you put in there a couple of the podcasts that you'd like to listen to if you can? I'd really like to know, because I'm a big fan of podcasts as well. Yeah. I think there are some really good ones out there now, and it would be great to hear about that. But yeah, that talking to the clients, we had on some time ago Martin Drake, and we were talking about client care, and that came out in that show as well. Really engage with the clients and understand what they're thinking and what they're talking about. Massive difference. Brilliant. Yeah, working on definitely.
And Kelly also said, being open to new ideas and curveballs as well. I think that's rolling with the punches is another way of putting that. I think is one of those things that we all want to do, might be harder than other times. Gavin has a different viewpoint on us than Blinkist.
Oh, Gavin, how dare you? How dare you? Yeah, it is cheating. Right.
We like that. It's not cheating.
Well, hey, but when I've read it on the Blinks, if I like the Blinks, I really like it, I'll go and buy the book. So I think, I'm in the clear on that one.
Well, apparently Gavin's favourite book is
Okay, I'll check that out, yeah. I'll see if it's Blinkist.
And then Kerry's talking to customers again, agreeing with that one, which I think is a...
Hello, Kerry. How are you? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Everything that you need to be fabulous and stand out and differentiate yourself and occupy a space where your competition aren't is in the minds and hearts of your competition, of your customers, your clients. All you need to do is liberate that, and it's there for you. One of the best ways to find out what your USPs are, strangely enough, is ask your clients and they'll tell you. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. So brilliant. Yeah, I like that one. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you so much to everybody who's commenting so far. We're going to, anything more that as we come along, please let us know as well in the comments. We love hearing from you. I
just want to finish off on this sticky employer one, and then we'll come back because we need to begin to wrapping up with some thoughts about practical things that you can do. This sticky employer thing is really, really important, because what that means is it's easy to attract people to your organization. It's easy for you to motivate them and manage them, and therefore you're going to retain them for longer. Now, I accept in a business you need churn. You do need people to come and go because they're bringing new ideas and new energy, and I get that for sure. But that should be quite low. If you've got a high rate of churn, you never really get the best out of people, because by the time you got them up to speed, some of them leave. It's a waste of time and effort for you, but your business isn't performing well. And in my experience, when we did got the best results was when I had a team which stayed stable and was fired up at the top of their game. You should train everyone to death, get them as good as they can be at what they do, equip them with the very best possible tools that you can find, and then get out of their way, and they'll achieve some astonishing things for you. All of that is a sticky employer initiative. I just want to say one thing, though. When I talk about this, and what we could do, Kirst, if anybody wants, we could run a session on sticky employer. We could have a program on it, because it's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you want to see that.
Yeah, if you'd like us to run a show on just becoming a sticky employer. I think it's important, because when you're really, really small, it's not that difficult, because as the owner, you're involved in everything and you're talking to everybody and the whole thing is cohesive. As soon as you get to about 10 employees, you can't do that. It's not possible to do it the same way that you did before. And that's when the wheels come off. And so that, by the time you reach that stage, you need to be a sticky employer for sure. So, okay. Shall we go back to where we were, Kirsty?
Yeah, we do have a great audible book for you from Marilyn, which is What Got You There Won't Get You Here. Oh, wait, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, which I think is probably going to be a good book.
I'll check these all out. And I'll always look for summaries. If I can't find them on Blinkist, look for a summary. And if I like the summary, I'll buy it. And I like to listen to it in the car when I'm driving. So that's great.
This one, Mike. We like to be close. We're close with that. We're close with our friends. Okay. I think one point that I imagine a lot of people out there is this is important to do. You're working on your business is whether we mentioned it before, whether it's just you, whether you're a sole trader, whether it's a partnership, or whether you're a bigger business. At every single point, this is an important thing for you to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. From the first day that you sit around your kitchen table and think, I can do this thing, from that point on, you're working on your business. In fact, weirdly, before you start your business, that's all you do because there's no actual work to do. So you're working on your business and then it starts, and that tends to tail off a little bit because you're so drawn in to the working in your business. And by the way, I totally get that. I understand you've got to do that to establish get some clients, get some revenues. Totally get that. But I think it's a good habit to establish to work on your business, even when you're really small and really, really swamped out with trying to make your way. Working on your business is what gets you out of that. Just does. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, Mike. Now, you know how this works. You know what? On our show, it's my show. On our show, you know that I like things to be very tangible. I like people to go away with something that they can do.
The Kirsty and Mike show.
Kirsty and Mike show. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So for this, someone's watching this, they think, right, Mike, I am up to my arse in alligators right now. And I know that I'm supposed to be draining this swamp. What can I do now? What is the first step? What's the easiest step that I can do in order to start myself in this process?
Okay. It is understand what you want that business to do for you. That is number one thing, right? So let me be very clear on that. As a business owner, that any business owner that owns their own business, which is the term business owner, isn't it? It'll do 5 things for you. First of all, it provides you with an income so that you can have the lifestyle that you want. Okay. Second thing is it gives you the choice to work and not work. And that contributes to your lifestyle. It's your work-life balance. Then it gives you the opportunity to shape your actual job, the things you do when you go to work every day, to make it the things you're good at and you like doing, and someone else does the things that you don't like or you're not good at. That's what that company will do for you, gives you that choice. Fourthly, it's about making you financially independent. That's the big one. Most people enter business to do that. But one day they can just say, do you know what? I've had enough, and they go. And I'll tell you this, statistically, that's not about the sale of a business.
All right.
Statistically, that is not going to happen. Certainly not as recruiters. It's 0.2% of recruitment companies that get sold in a trade sale for any amount of money. So you have to get the business to make you independently wealthy without a sale. Okay, so we can have that as a topic as well. One of the days I'd really like to talk about that one. That's called a cash cow business, and that's a certain shape of business which is different to one you're growing to sell. It's easier as well, by the way, and more fun. And then lastly, to provide a legacy, and that legacy could be for you, for your staff. Sometimes it's just looking back when you've done what you've done and thought, yeah, I really like that. I'm proud of that. That can be your legacy. Only about a third of people actually bother with a legacy, in my experience. Most people, as long as it does the other 4, I don't really care, to be honest. When it's done that, I'll just close the doors and turn the lights off and we're done, which is fine, isn't it? Really? Yes. So yeah, my legacy is you and Peter, really. That's what I want to be able to do.
What a great legacy.
Yeah, there you go. But you understand. So that's a really, really key point. And so you must decide what it is of those 4 or 5 things, what you want, and write it down. That's where you're going, right? That's the first thing.
So with these things as well. So if you're in a bigger company, if you're in a partnership, that would be sitting down together, would it, or would that be doing it by yourself? And then if you're by yourself, if it's just you running a business, can you hire someone? Can you talk to your friends? Can you talk to partners? Anybody?
Your husband, wife, partner, or whatever. You can do it with them. You should involve them, to be honest, because a lot of the things that you're talking about certainly affects your family, as I know to my cost, of course. Back in the day, yeah. But it does have an effect on them, so you should involve them for sure. But also, I think that there's lots of people you can involve. Anyone you trust, you can hire people. We do it for our clients. I'm not pitching for work. I'm just saying that's what we do. But you already know that, right? There's lots of people that will do it. But if you get some objective at the end of the day, those 5 questions, it's 5 boxes on an A4 page, isn't it? And you've got something written in there that you believe in, you're done. So the next thing after that, right, is you've got to figure out what shape business you need to give you that. And that's pretty cool, actually, because we do it with our recruiter clients. We have a little spreadsheet that works it out. So you give it the data and it turn the handle. Pete's written it. Turn the handle, and it tells you then, well, okay, you need this. The business needs to be roughly this shape. And I tell you, it never ceases to amaze me. It's never as big as you think it's going to need to be. It's always a smaller business to deliver what you want. It's weird that way. This idea that you've got to build this massive behemoth to give you what you want. No, not at all. If you've got the right shape business, it can be much smaller. But that's really important because that's the end game. So we talked about, vision and strategy. This is defining really the vision almost. And then what you can do is break that down into say, well, okay, that's the big picture. Where do I want to be this time next year on those same points? Those same 5 points. What do I want next year in there? And that becomes your target. And then you just build a plan to deliver that, which is not that difficult, really. The other thing that I've got, another piece of advice, is only work on one project at a time.
Yeah. Was it focus equals penetration, penetration equals accumulation?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, I do. This is concentrate to penetrate, penetrate to accumulate. Yeah, sure. So it is about keeping that focus to give you what you want to be. But if you try and do too much, especially if you're a small business, you end up doing nothing, getting nowhere, disheartened, everything pushes to one side. Get one thing and nail it. Nail it to the door, stand back and say, we're better now, and then move on to the next thing. You'll do so much better if you do. And then in terms of the amount of time that you need, I think we've got a few comments we can finish on in a second here. I think an hour a week sounds like a lot, but it can be some of this time is thinking time, as we said earlier, or self-development. So it's not, I've got to find a block of time, which is an hour. I'm not saying that. It's 20 minutes a day. It's not that much. I'd like it to be more, but I think this is a great starting point.
So when the world sort of gets back to normal, is that something you could do like on your commute? Could you be like thinking about things as you're on the train?
Some of it, yeah.
Or like walking to work, or if you have a lunch break and you want to go outside for 20 minutes to get fresh air, that would suffice, you're saying?
Some of it, yeah, sure, for sure. Yeah, you can make it that way. Sometimes I think you do have to sit down and write something, or just really marshal your thoughts, or be in a room with someone and say, let's structure this, let's get this going. And sometimes you're actually having to physically do something. So if you're building a system to win new clients, you have to do certain things to make that happen. Put certain tools in place, do certain pieces of research, train people, for sure. But predominantly when you begin, when you're small, it is just really about thinking and planning, I suppose. And then I prefer a day a quarter, truth be told. But I'll put half a day because I think that's more reasonable, isn't it? More doable.
We don't want to scare people. We don't want to freak people out and they go, that's impossible, Mike, you fool. Half a day is much more manageable.
If you just book it in, it's only 4 days a year, isn't it? Just book it in. You'll do it.
And with those things, with that half a day or full day really, but half a day if we have to, would you recommend sort of being away from your work environment, like going, and go finding a table in a pub or a restaurant and having a discussion there? Or get away from your work environment.
Get out of the office, because the office will drag you back into the working in your business. It's all about alligators in the office. It's snived with them everywhere. Snap, snap, snap. So get yourself out of the alligators completely, and you can think about the swamp a lot better.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got some comments, and then I'm going to round up. So, first of all, Nikki, that's a fantastic name for this show, and I think
Nikki,
Nikki was my favorite. I knew she was, and Nikki has some good puts as well. The first thing that she did was employ someone to do the filing, and it can be something that small, right? It can be a little thing makes a big difference if it frees up your time. And then that meant that she could just have interesting meetings, which I.
That's the deal, really. Nikki's just summed it up there, really. And don't forget, you don't have to employ people to get rid of things. You can outsource. Everyone does that. I'm interviewing a guy fairly soon for the pioneers. I won't talk about it too much because he's not been 100% agreed yet. But he has built the most beautiful virtual business you've ever seen. Really nice. And I'm hoping he comes on the show so we can record it, because he's just outsourced everything.
We like that. do like that. And then Rob's made a good point. I think he mentioned this on when you were saying working one project at a time is really, really focus on one thing to do it well.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. Yeah, just don't try and do too much, really. I know there's always a temptation. The question isn't, can I do something? The question is, should I do something? They're different questions. Can I do something? Yeah, I could do that. Should I do it? Well, not really, no, because I'm going to be less focused, less concentrated, so I won't get as far with it. Thanks, Rob. Great point.
And then Simon's made a comment, and I can't help but feel a bit upset that I haven't had my shirt mentioned.
Simon sent me a text message to say Kirsty's shirt's fabulous.
Okay, I knew that was it.
And I was like a bit like that. He said, well, I'll mention your shirt then.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm a real boy. I'm a real boy.
Okay. All right. So let me just quickly sort of summarize what we've gone on today. So a big key of growing your business to a place that means it works for you instead of you working for it is to work on your business, not in it. So you focus more on looking up and out rather than down and in. That's where you're going to get that long-term gain. Now, to do that, there are lots of things that you can do. You can be focused around personal development. It can be focused around creating projects for yourself to work on. So sitting down, planning where you are, where you want to be and how you're going to get there. And then to create a program to do that. Some things, for example, are new clients, to get client care. Another one would be to keep your employees, to get that sticky employee. Yeah. Now, the way that we recommend that you do that to start doing it is, first of all, figure out what you want, because you can't create a business unless you know what you want it to be.
Also, can I just say, don't forget, the business works for you, not the other way around. Yeah. That is another mental positioning. It works for you. You don't work for it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something you take into account when you're creating this. Make a business that works for you, that does what you want it to. Then design that business, go to that next level down, figure out what it needs to be in order to create that. And then once you've done that, just work through one project at a time. And you say that, Mike, that you should pick the project that's going to make the biggest difference in the shortest amount of time. That's the aim, isn't it?
I think the thing that is going to have the biggest effect on you, and you know what that is. And if you don't, talk it over with someone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, so you do that. And then to sort of continually run this, we suggest that you start, the key word here is start, with an hour a week, which can be broken down into, you commute, you're walking around. Sometimes you will need to be a bit more at a desk, but thinking time can be done in between bits. And then half a day or a full day, a quarter. And the other thing with this,
full day, really.
The other thing with this, Mike, is as you go on, that working on your business time will increase, right? So you'll probably end up doing, somebody we know did a day a week, didn't he? Just put it in his diary, just day a week, and his business went
massively so. Yeah. The more you work on the business, the less you'll have to work in it, for sure. Yeah,
exactly. Carry on, Mike.
Before you come to the what's happening next time, let me just this one key message. I made it before, but it is important. Having been through 2 successful businesses, I know the ingredients, and you do too. It's hard work, for sure. Taking risks, that's what a lot of people don't realize, but we know. And the other one is working on your business. You put those 3 together, I think it's harder to fail than succeed.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mike. Just a quick one now. Again, I'm feeling very upset about my shirts not getting a lot of comments.
Well, thank you, Barry.
No. Okay, so just to let everybody know, next week we have Ben Shorter, who will be debating with Mike the benefits of 360 recruiters, which will be very interesting because I think it's one of those topics that a lot of people feel very strongly about one way or the other. So it'll be very interesting. What I will say is, we work really hard to try and make this show, our show, as relevant to everybody as possible. So if you know anybody that you think would be great to have as a guest on the show, please let us know. If there's a topic that you're struggling with or in your business is creating a problem, again, please let us know. We'll try and find someone to help. If you don't want to do that in the comments, which of course is a great place to do that, you can direct message Mike or myself privately, and we will keep it anonymous if you would prefer to.
Please do. Yeah, we want to make this show relevant for everyone. We want to put people on there who are important, interesting, useful, thought-provoking, whatever. So yeah, be brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, look, we've already got some people next week, 360. It will be interesting, Mike.
Oh, Gavin, yeah, just spoiling the show. I might have changed my mind by then. I might be very keen, and Ben might be against.
He's a fickle man. It's a week away. He's a fickle man. And Simon's got a great way for us to end on this. Work on the business in the office, work in the business from home. remote work won't help the shaken.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, well done, Simon. Thank you.
And just to finally end off, thank you, Gary.
She's Welsh. What can you say? Headbands.
Got style.
Well, you've got Welsh blood as well, haven't you, Kirsty? So there must be a bond there somewhere. I don't know.
Right. Once again, thank you so much for everybody who joined in and everybody who commented as well. And thank you to Mike for sharing his knowledge with us today.
See you next week, guys.